Hello, my name is Laura Bunn, and I'm the Triangle Market President for First Horizon Bank. First Horizon Bank and First Horizon Foundation are honored to play a role in our community, and we look for partnerships with organizations that make an impact like the Kay Yow Foundation. We are grateful for the opportunity to be a part of the annual Kay Yow Run Walk celebration. Last year, we were excited to be a part of the in-person event and paint the tunnel pink for the survivors and their families. It was so touching to hear the stories of how the Kay Yow Foundation has impacted so many. My team and I felt a great sense of admiration for those touched by this organization, and I left last year's event knowing that we wanted to continue our partnership. In 2020, we shifted our giving strategy by increasing support to organizations directly impacted by COVID-19. And while we all know that that need is so great, we also know that cancer doesn't stop for COVID-19. That's why this year we are reinvesting in the Kay Yow Foundation. We are joining forces with UNC Health as the presenting sponsor of the 2021 Run Walk. My team and I wish that we could be with you in person for the Run Walk. However, in an effort to keep everyone safe, the First Horizon team will be walking and running virtually over the next month. I hope you will join us.
I'm running with my good friend Amy Daniels with Rex Healthcare Foundation to celebrate all those whose lives have been touched by the Kay Yow Foundation. At First Horizon, we're a proud sponsor this year along with UNC Health for the Celebration Run Walk.
This year's event is all virtual, but we hope to see you there. UNC Health is proud of our partnership with First Horizon Bank, and we can't wait for this year's event.
Saturday is here.
Jen, yes.
Friends, I'm Jen Hoverstad, the Director of Marketing and Engagement for the Kay Yow Cancer Fund, joined by our CEO, Stephanie Glantz. And what a week we have had celebrating cancer warriors, celebrating the mission of the Kay Yow Cancer Fund to fund that life-saving cancer research and to ensure that underserved women have access to quality healthcare when it comes to cancer screening and treatment. And today is no exception. I really feel like today is like our biggest celebration day yet. So you're going to want to stay tuned for the entire show, right, Steph?
Absolutely. So it's kind of like, Jen, it's like we're all, our arms are around everybody who's watching, everybody who's participated, who's signed up for the Celebration Run Walk, everybody who's donated, all cancer warriors out there. It's like we're together in spirit. And even though we can't be somewhere physically, we're definitely together virtually. And it's been an amazing week. And yes, today is our biggest day of celebration. We definitely want everybody to stay around because at the end, we have a special tribute and a special honoring of all cancer warriors. So be sure to stay tuned.
And check this out. We have, let's see, Beverly's joining us. Beverly, thank you for joining us today. Let's see, we have Christine, who is doing her walk right now.
Awesome.
That is so awesome, Christine. Thank you for plugging in. Absolutely love it. So whether you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube, let us know you're there. We're watching the comments. And as we kick off today's show, we have a really special interview. We have Coach Yow's sisters, Debbie and Susan Yow, who joined Joe Ovies from our media sponsor, 99.9 The Fan, to talk about what it was like to grow up in the Yow family. Steph, tell us a little bit more about why this interview is so special.
Actually, it's really unique, Jen, because I asked Debbie and Susan, how often were they interviewed together? How often did all three of them interview together? And actually, they said not very often, not just because it wasn't purposeful, but this gives us great insight today with Debbie and Susan sharing about what it was like to be in the Yow family, what it was like growing up, sitting around the dinner table in a really competitive environment as a family. And what makes it really unique is that both Debbie and Susan played for their sister Kay. So this is going to be very entertaining. I think it's going to be very insightful. And so let's take a look.
Hi, it's Joe Ovies from 99.9 The Fan, and I'm joined by Susan Yow and Debbie Yow. Thank you for joining us, and we appreciate the time, and thank you for sharing some memories today.
You're welcome. Glad to.
Actually, I think we should probably start there. What are your fondest childhood memories around your family and just the sports and how that tied everything together with your family?
Debbie, you want to go first?
Well, I don't know if it's a fond memory or not, Joe, but the memory that I will never forget is the day Susan and Kay and I decided we wanted to play a little game of 2-on-2 in the backyard with the backyard basket. And we needed a fourth, and my mom was available. At the time, she was 48 or 49, and she joined in. And long story short, we had a mishap. We had a problem, and my mother should not have been trying to rebound, but she did, and she fell backwards and she broke both wrists from playing basketball with us. So I'll never forget that because of the reaction of my father to that story, to that. But my mom was our mother was a basketball player, so in high school, and so she was more than excited, wasn't she, Susan?
Yeah, I remember.
It wasn't all our fault, is what I'm saying. She wanted to play.
Right.
I think I tried that with our father. It didn't go that well, though.
Well, I there were a lot, and it seems so long ago, but I remember going and watching Debbie and Ronnie play. Obviously, Kay, and I was 5 years old when Kay was a senior in high school, and I really don't remember any of those years. I don't remember Kay living in the home actually until I went to the first grade. When I went into first grade, Kay was she was a freshman in college.
Right.
So there's a big difference there.
Mm-hmm.
But I do remember Friday nights and getting ready. Always went to football games with Ronnie. And that was always exciting. But you were going to see Debbie and Ronnie play basketball, and they played on the same nights. The girls played first, the boys played second, and of course Debbie was the star of her team. And so just the younger sibling running around the gym and just knowing that you were identified with them, and I remember that. I enjoyed that. And then when Kay was coaching at Allen J High School, and those were interesting years because she was coaching in the same conference that Debbie was playing in. And those were interesting times when they had to play each other because they played each other twice a year, and then probably a third time in the conference championship. And of course, Kay won those championships when she was coaching at Allen J. And she would come home on a Friday evening after her game and talk about her game and want to see how Debbie and Ronnie's games went. I mean, and that was the first time I ever had pizza because she'd bring pizza from a beer joint called Brightwood in Gibsonville. And that was the first pizza I ever had.
It's still open, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
And
it's on 70, Highway 70.
Yep. And we would sit around the kitchen table and talk about that. And then this was the big thing. Kay would take me back with her to her practices on Saturday morning at Allen J High School. And so you can't imagine, I was like in basketball heaven, and just being around all of that. And I don't remember exactly what I did then, but I know I was probably in her way a lot while she was trying to coach. Because
Susan was spoiled. Susan was spoiled, Joe. She's the baby. She was spoiled.
Well, that's funny.
Take her back to Allen J High School for practice. That never happened with me.
No, my whole experience was different. Oh my goodness!
But what's interesting about that though, and Debbie, you kind of alluded to it, being the youngest, and you kind of get, but you grow up in this, and I think that's the fascinating part, at least for me, and I think for a lot of the audience as well. The whole family revolved around sports. So I am curious, and I'm sure a lot of other people are curious, like it's kind of a nature versus nurture thing. And Susan, I guess we can start with you. I mean, this is what you grew up in. So I guess that love of sport just was a natural thing, right?
No question. It was on the TV all the time. And of course we didn't have cable then, but Saturday and Sundays were the big sport days. Mm-hmm. And every now and then through Raycom, you'd get a weekday game in the ACC.
Right.
But basically it was Saturday and Sundays. And so, I mean, and I did grow up with it. I mean, they all three played. They all three were successful. They all three had their trophies in the house.
Mhm.
And I couldn't, and I couldn't wait till I would be a freshman and I could start adding my trophies to the case. Mother was so good about displaying all of that.
A little sibling rivalry, so to speak. I got to catch up, right?
And I never looked at it like that. And I don't think that we did. We just, we were all.
The only time that entered into it is when Kay was coaching at Allen J.
That's
and
right.
We had to she would double team me.
Exactly.
And they would win because she double teamed me, and then I wouldn't talk to her because, I said, it's not fair. Don't double team me. She said, I'm trying to win the game, and this is what I need to do to win. So we're going to double team you. That was
great.
The only time we had a situation like that.
Now I'm curious. You both played for Kay, so
we played for it at the same time.
At the same time. So
yeah.
What was that dynamic like?
Well, Susan, go for it.
Well, I don't ever remember thinking it was something unusual or the thing or something to cherish later on in life. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, she was the coach and we wanted to play. And, my first experience playing for her was my sophomore year in high school. We didn't have a coach, and Kay had completed her 4 years at Allen J High School and had gone back to UNC Greensboro to get her master's.
Mm.
So actually, I think she took out of her retirement fund, Debbie, in North Carolina to do that.
Yeah.
And so we needed a coach, and unbeknownst to me, someone decided to ask Kay if she would consider doing that. She didn't have to teach or anything, just come and coach us in that season. And I was 15 years old. I did not want that to happen. I did not want my sister coaching our high school team.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was really opposed to it. It didn't matter. She became our coach, and we we only won 2 games my freshman year. Well, we went on to regionals that year, and she took a hodgepodge of players. Some of them were cheerleaders. They cheered for the boys team after the game, and it was a great experience. It was a phenomenal experience, honestly. And so, as because of that, later on it would be, when she was at Elon coaching, it would just evolve that I would go there after my senior year. I actually thought in my mind I might go to Appalachian State, but there was no chance of that. I was going to Elon to play for Kay, and glad that decision was made. But that's kind of, so I had a short stint with her my sophomore year in high school, and that really helped to solidify that I would play for her at Elon. And lo and behold, Debbie was at Elon.
Yeah,
and,
right.
And so, and I will say this on behalf of Debbie and Kay, and it goes back to this being the spoiled sibling. And I don't deny that anymore. I never, but we all three wore the number 14. Okay. And this is like, there's no way I'm going to play and not wear 14. So how is this off? So Debbie and Kay made the decision, and Debbie wore number 50. She'd never wore that number in her life. 50,
Never wore it.
I could have 14. So
we all wore the same number, Joe, including my brother who played football at Clemson. So
right.
Yeah, 14 was a big deal, but Susan was the best athlete. So it even though she was younger, I remember thinking, no, she's supposed to have 14. This needs to be this way for it to be right.
Okay, so I'm curious. You brought it up, and Debbie, you brought this up that Susan was the best athlete. So is this a universal truth? Like everybody agreed with this idea? Susan, do you agree with this idea?
Remember, Kay played in a different. Susan's 12 years younger than Kay, so played in a different era. And so when Elon starts, this coming fall will be the 50th anniversary of varsity athletics for women at Elon. So I came that year, 71, 72. Susan showed up in 72, 73. So Kay was in the 50s, and she was on the all-state team that played in Kannapolis. For her day, Susan, she had some crazy game where she scored a lot of points. 52. And so during her day, but I'm just saying in the modern era, if you think about full court basketball, which Kay didn't get to play,
Right.
Yeah, Susan's the best.
Susan, do you agree with that?
I do agree with that.
Okay.
I do.
No question.
Proud of you for saying that, Susan, because I wasn't sure you would. So Joe would be playing a game at Elon, and we would say to Susan, "It's a tough game, and we would say, we are going to lose this game, Susan, if you don't shoot the ball. And she would say, I don't want to be a ball hog. And we're going, be a ball hog. We want to win the game. So we had this thing with her where she didn't want, to be in the center of it offensively, but we were going to lose if she wasn't. So we would spend a lot of time and energy just trying to get her to shoot the ball.
And I had to say this, my experiences playing were so different. I had camps that I went to. Kay worked basketball camps that were run by Carl James, who was the AD at Duke University, and they ran camps in the summer. She did that for 4 straight years. And that was my 4 years in high school. So there again, here she got her little sister's tagging along. I'm there for the 2 weeks that Kay's instructor. The 1 week we got for free. My parents got free because Kay worked that out. And then the second week my folks had to pay. But see, I was just exposed to so many more opportunities than Debbie and Kay were exposed to. Mm-hmm. So they didn't have an opportunity to advance and excel in the game as an athlete.
As we kind of start to wind this conversation down, I am curious, what part of the Yow family legacy are you most proud of? Susan, we can start with you.
Really, I think legacies are meant for other people to determine what your legacy is. I know what I'm proud of as a legacy with Debbie and Kay, just their accomplishments in life. The fact that I'm glad we all ended up at NC State. That is one thing I'm very grateful for, that we ended together as siblings at NC State. And we love NC State. Debbie and I still love NC State. Kay loved it. We are very grateful for the opportunities to have been there. And we were there as, I excelled as an athlete there. Kay excelled as a coach there. And Debbie excelled as a director of athletics there. And to me, I'm very proud of that legacy that we will be hopefully remembered for.
Debbie?
I like what Susan said. I'm grateful for all the opportunities I've had, including the University of Maryland for 16 years. I never dreamed late in my career I would end up at NC State. But on the day of the press conference, Susan had taken, when Kay died, Susan had taken all of Kay's NC State pins. You split up things, clothes, furniture, everything. And I didn't even know Susan had those pins. But on the day of my press conference, she brought them all to me and said, these belong to you now. So I was able for those 9 years as athletic director to wear those pins that belong to Kay. So I think I agree with her that that's something really special to all three of us.
I see. I did not know that, because you and I have come across each other at various sporting events while you were the AD at NC State, and I noticed those pins. I did not know the story behind that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Joe, lastly, I'd just like to say, the one thing I think about with Debbie and Kay, and they really passed this down to me. Mm-hmm. And they did everything they did with excellence and integrity and a genuine love to see others excel. They were always in it for others, not just for themselves, but they were in it to make life better for others. And they passed that down to me.
Mm. And Joe, I had a little detour. Susan and Kay were kind of pure in terms of they stuck to they stayed on the right road all the time. I've had a detour too along the way. It's in college. It took me a while, but I wouldn't have ended up at Elon if that hadn't happened. So I'm glad that something good came out of it.
Well, we appreciate the time, and I did want to close on this. And Susan, cancer survivors are always honored and encouraged at the Kay Yow Cancer Fund events. And they always lead the way by being at the front, at the start of the Celebration Run Walk. So you've always served as the official starter of the Run Walk. What would you say to all those survivors who have been participating virtually?
Well, I thought about that. I'm very reluctant to give any advice on any illness that I've not battled. Mm-hmm. But I did watch Kay battle it. And particularly in her last 2-3 years, I watched her battle it. And the thing that stands out in my mind about Kay is that she always fought it. She stayed in the fight. She continued to fight the fight against cancer. And She never gave up hope in trying to find a cure or a research drug that would prolong life or even cure her cancer. She never gave up hope on that. And I would say this to Sabrina, she always surrounded herself with others who would walk that journey with her. She never tried to go that journey alone. I think that's so important when you're going through something like that. That's life-threatening. And she never quit giving to others as she endured her pain. She always had a great outlook. And when she'd go to get her treatments, she was always upbeat, and no matter how she felt. And she always wanted to really minister to the others that were there. And I don't mean to prolong this, but the thing about, I thought about this verse in the scripture. It's Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. And it says, trust in God with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, and in all your ways acknowledge him, who he is, and he will see you through. He'll see you through this. And that's not, I don't mean that's easy. I've never been through something that was life-threatening like that. Mm-hmm. So I encourage each one who is in this battle right now to fight the fight of which you have no control. They had no control over it. They didn't ask for it. It happened. And learn to trust, lean, and acknowledge that God is in control. And he knows how you feel. He loves you and he cares for you. Lean on his strength. Put your trust, your total dependence on him. That was Kay's secret recipe to her personal battle. And that's why she could carry it so well.
Amen, sister.
Susan, we appreciate that. Debbie, we appreciate you. Appreciate the sharing of the stories of your family, of Kay. All of that is amazing. And we appreciate everybody watching this presentation and the week that was.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Debbie and Susan Yow and Joe Ovies from 99.9 The Fan for that very special interview. I have loved reading the comments that are coming through for those of you that also enjoyed it and maybe what stood out to you. Quite a range of emotions, right? Had us laughing, had us sentimental. But what a special conversation. Now, we have some incredible programming coming up. We have a talk with a cancer warrior here in just a moment. And then after that, we'll bring our honorary co-chairs back one more time to reflect on the week. And then we will wind up today's program with a very special mission moment from Steph directly to our cancer warriors. So you don't want to miss what's coming up. And of course, this week would not be possible without our sponsors and those that have supported the Celebration Run Walk. A big thank you to Lane and Associates Family Dentistry for being our event sponsor this week. Not only has Lane served women who have been affected by cancer in multiple ways, whether themselves or with their family, but they also have cancer warriors on their team. This week, I had a chance to sit down with Dr. Jo Dunn to talk about her personal experience with cancer. I am joined today by Dr. Jo Dunn, an oral surgeon with Lane and Associates Family Dentistry. And Dr. Dunn has a story herself with cancer. And Dr. Dunn, I'm curious, can you tell us more about your diagnosis and treatment with cancer?
I'd be happy to. I'm a big advocate of self-exams, and that's exactly what happened. It was maybe August of 2015. I found a small lump in my right breast. Brought it to the attention of my provider, who recommended a mammogram because I was due for it anyways. The mammogram led to an ultrasound guided biopsy on December 31st, and on January 4th, 2016, I got that phone call that said my biopsy was positive for cancer. The next month was pretty much a blur. It was meeting my team at Duke Cancer Center, who took excellent care of me. I met with the surgical oncologist, the reconstructive surgeon, the oncologist and a radiation oncologist as well. February 2nd, 2016, I had my surgery, and my surgical oncologist had recommended a mastectomy because my disease was multifocal. And at that point, I had requested that she do a bilateral mastectomy. Research shows that there's no increased efficacy or outcome with a double mastectomy. But for my peace of mind, I requested that, and she was happy to comply. So I had my surgery and was immediately reconstructed. It was a long surgery, slow recovery. But 3 weeks later, I get the phone call again, and they were not able to obtain clear margins. Mm. So I still had cancer in the posterior wall. My surgical oncologist at that point gave me two options. One was to do radiation treatment, and the other was to go back in for another surgery to re-excise that tissue. And being a oral surgeon, I opted for the surgery. So March 1st was the second surgery, went back in, got clear margins, and I'm happy to say I've been cancer-free for 5 years now.
Wow, that's awesome. Being able to hit that 5-year mark is so important. And I love that you shared too. I think so many women experience that same decision-making that you elaborated on, where you may not necessarily have to do this, but really what's going to be most peace of mind, bring most peace of mind for you as the patient. It's so important. And so during this time, you've been with Lane and Associates since 2014. And, you know, as you went through this journey as part of the Lane team and the Lane family, what does it mean to you to work for an organization that we highlighted earlier this week plays an active role in supporting women who are fighting cancer?
I am really proud to be a part of this organization. You know, I'm very appreciative to Dr. Lane and Mrs. Lane, who supported me throughout my cancer treatment, just reassuring me that I just needed to take care of myself and get healthy again, and that my job would always be there. So that was nice, just knowing that I had a place to come back to.
Oh, that is so important. And it's such an amazing organization. And certainly the Kay Yow Cancer Fund is grateful for women like you, cancer warriors willing to share their story, and also for organizations like Lane and Associates for being willing to be a mission partner so we can truly fight cancers that affect women. Dr. Dunn, thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Thank you for having me.
It never gets old, Steph, to hear the stories of cancer warriors. Each journey is truly different, as we got to hear yesterday with Shannon Miller on our Zoom call with her. And so each one is unique. And I can't help but notice we do have some women who are joining us and who have shared their own journeys. I just wanted to send a big virtual hug to Janet Mann. She said she just started chemo treatments for breast cancer. So Janet, we are definitely thinking of you, and I hope you'll stay in touch with us. And then also, Steph, I think you're going to be able to relate to this comment. I imagine you probably heard Coach Yow say this to people, but Brookshire McDonald is saying that Coach Yow told her she could get on the pity pot and swizzle her feet around, but then she had to get off. She said she did just that, and now she's a 2-time breast cancer survivor of 16 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And the quote that she's referring to, and, you know, Coach Yow used to say this a lot, don't wallow in self-pity because you'll drown. Just squish your feet a little and get out. It's okay to feel a little sorry, a little down, just don't stay there too long.
Absolutely. And I think two people who brought us encouragement and inspiration, not only this week, but really they are longtime friends of the Kay Yow Cancer Fund. We have Angela Caraway, Katrina, Cooke, our honorary co-chairs for this week's celebration run walk. Can you guys, doesn't it feel like yesterday was Monday and we were kicking everything off?
Yes.
It does. It's gone by so quick.
It has. So I have to ask, Angela, we'll start with you. What has been your favorite part of the week?
I've been thinking about that question, and I don't know. It's all been really good. It's just, I think each night has been its own good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Like, it kicked off with a great conversation with Dr. O'Neill, Lucille O'Neill, Shaq's mom, good friend of mine, and it just went on from there. Like, it just kept building on this kept going. But I just love the opportunity to hear all the stories and hear the songs and seeing the comments and the encouragements that came through the chats. So it's all been good. I don't know if I can have a great night. They all been great. But it's been great co-chairing with Katrina and being part of this process. And so I really appreciate that.
Y'all have been a power team. Katrina, what about you? What's been your favorite part of the week?
I kind of agree with Angela. Like, it's hard to pick just one thing. I will say, when I was listening to Debbie and Susan this morning, all I could think was, I'm the oldest sibling, and I have a younger sister and a younger brother, and goodness gracious that the two of them were able to get on and talk about me. I can't even imagine what they would say. It would probably be quite humorous. But I really enjoyed getting to know Lucille O'Neill and talk to her. It was a lot of fun listening to Debbie and LaChina talk about their experience with Coach Yow. I always love hearing Sherry Cole tell the story with the napkin. That is always just so inspirational to me. But I agree, the survivor stories and just hearing from the cancer survivors and the way that they're feeling. And it just kind of mimics, I believe, what Angela and I have felt from all of you at the Kay Yow Cancer Fund, that we're just wrapped in your arms and held so tight. And I think this week just solidified that even more. And we feel so loved on and so appreciated. And then, of course, that a lot of money has been raised, and research is a passion of mine to keep me here. So that is that's just the cherry on top.
Well, Katrina and Angela, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for being our co-chairs for the 2021 Celebration Run Walk. We certainly wish we could wrap our arms around you in person today, give you big hugs. Yes, big virtual hugs, absolutely coming your way. And so we, of course, will deliver this to you. We will get this to you, but we wanted to give you a commemorative gift to honor you all for being such wonderful co-chairs. Thank you for sharing your hearts, your story, your cancer journey. This is actually a canvas commemorative gift that you can put on a shelf or wherever you choose to put it. In your homes or in your offices. And so we're very, very grateful for you. We will be giving this to you, special delivery coming soon. We'll work out the logistics to get it to you, but we just wanted to really thank you. And just, you guys are inspirational to not just our staff, but to all the people who know you and whose paths you cross. And we just thank you and appreciate you for just being the people that you are. And we stand with you and stand and encourage you in your fight, in your journey. We will always be here with you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's great. I wish I had another picture now. That's great. I know, Jen. I know.
Oh, we love you guys so much. Thank you so much. Yes. And of course, this week would not have been possible without Katrina and Angela's help, but also without the help of our presenting sponsors, one of them being UNC Health. Here's a quick word from our presenting sponsor, UNC Health.
You hear that sound? That's all of us cheering and laughing. Everywhere, louder than ever. It's not the past, it's our future. Because we have vaccines, tested, safe, and effective for everyone. Our shot at a better future is here. Get loud, North Carolina. This is our shot.
I might be most excited for this, Steph.
That's great,
up this week. So, friends, we're starting to wind down our time together this morning, but the next 10 minutes will be the most exciting part, I think, of this morning. We're going to take a final look. This is our locked leaderboard. There have been so many changes to the leaderboard in 12 hours that I personally can't believe it. So we're going to go through, we're going to give out our top fundraiser award here. And then Steph has our closing mission moment that you do not want to miss, especially if you're a cancer warrior. And I would even encourage you right now, text your fellow cancer warrior friends. They don't want to miss this mission moment coming up. But Steph, what do you say? Should we go ahead and reveal our top 10 teams?
I think so, Jen, but I do want to say this, like at the beginning and the end of this, huge thank you to everyone who has participated, whether you're on a team, you're a captain of a team, you've donated to a team, you're a cancer warrior, and you've been tuning in all week. We just are so grateful for everyone who has joined us for this year's Celebration Run Walk. And it's been exciting. There's been a lot of text and calls and emails going back and forth. And as you said, Jen, the momentum has swung several times. And so now here we are at the final moment and very happy to reveal the final top 10 teams in order and our biggest fundraiser. So take it, Jen.
Thank you. And friends, I want to hear you cheering in the comments. So if your team is announced, let's see it in the comments. Coming in at number 10, we have Kay's Kids, captained by Talisha Cooke, 2972. And for those of you who don't know, Kay's Kids is largely made up of former players for Coach Yow. So way to go, Kay's Kids. Number 9, we have A Day's Team, captained by Angela Day, and just over $3,000. Day's team had not been on our leaderboard all month, and here they are coming in at number 9. A strong.
Angela is also a Kay Yow player.
Awesome, Angela. Way to go.
Exactly.
Number 8, our honorary co-chair, Katrina Cooke, captaining Katrina's NBC fan club, coming in at $3,571. I love that picture, her and her family and her fan club. Nice work, team. Number 7, we have Susan Williams, who we spotlighted earlier this year or this month, captaining Hakuna Matatas. And Hakuna Matatas is a team that comes back year after year. So 36-25, nice work. Number 6, Together We Fight, a new team to our Celebration Run Walk this year, captained by Shauna, 39-23. Way to go,
Awesome.
Together We Fight. Number 5, we just heard from her, Susan Yow, captaining Yow's team, 47-70. This is a team, too, that climbed quickly over the past week. Nice work.
So great. And there are a number of contributors on that team who also played 4K. So
I love it.
Sprinkled throughout, exactly. So it's awesome.
It is. Number 4, we have Mo's Treasured Chest, captained by Matoka Snug.
Woo-hoo.
Again, another team that comes back year after year with a very strong showing. 5201, their final total race.
That's awesome.
Number 3, Cancer Warrior Network, a new team this year, captained by Tamika Quick, Lori Edwards, Claren Engelbreath, and myself, 5991. As one of your co-captains, I cannot be prouder of the showing we have had as Cancer Warrior Network coming in for a new team.
Amazing. That's amazing. So great.
Number 2, Steph, you are not number 1 this week.
I know. I'm so thankful. I'm so happy about that. That's so great.
Glance for Kay, captained by Stephanie Glance. Steph was at the top of the leaderboard all month. So we have a surprise leader today. Steph, your team raised $64.29. Way to go. Absolutely incredible. Everyone coming together. But let's see, you motivated someone to get to the top of the leaderboard. So let's see who that is. A nice big drum roll for
All right.
Team Remix, captained by Mary Gravely, $7,728.
Awesome.
I can't even believe it. And Team Remax, like, this was their team coming together. I truly think it was like a 12-hour period. We heard they were making a run for the top yesterday at lunch, and they did it. They came through number one. Nice work, Team Remax.
Absolutely.
We're proud of all of our teams.
Yes.
Anything that was raised. Now, Steph, before we get to our top fundraiser, I'm curious if all of our teams who came together reached our goal of 200,000. But you think we should announce our top fundraiser first, and then you can let us know?
Yeah, let's do that, Jen. Let's do the top fundraiser.
Let's do it. All right. So our top fundraiser for the entire event, our top individual fundraiser, Georgia May on the team Together We Fight, individually raising over $3,000. Nice work, Georgia May. Absolutely incredible from everyone. We appreciate everything that you've done to raise money in the fight against cancers that affect women. So, Steph, tell us.
Okay, Jen. So we are so very grateful to all of you, to all of the leaders that we just said, but to everyone who has participated and contributed. We have exceeded our goal of $200,000 in fundraising this 2021 Celebration Run Walk. Yes, thanks to everyone out there. It's amazing. This literally just happened last night, and we're just so excited. It's amazing. I mean, we took a in-person event, turned it into a virtual event because of the pandemic. And thank you to all of you for responding in such an amazing, incredible way. Mm-hmm. The Kay Yow Cancer Fund cannot thank you enough for making a significant impact in the fight against all cancers affecting women through this event. Thank you.
Yes, a big thank you. And as we wrap up today's program, as many of you know, Steph usually shares her own mission moment every time we come together. And so this year will be no different. Steph is going to close with a mission moment specifically targeted to our cancer warriors. And then we will end with a song written by Cindy Alexander called Fireball in special tribute to our cancer warriors. So friends, thank you so much for joining us. And Steph, I'll let you close us out.
Thank you so much, Jen. So as we come to this time every year, it's the most special time of any event that we have at the Kay Yow Cancer Fund. And it's the time that we lift up and honor all cancer warriors, all cancer survivors. And of course, I'm always reminded of Kay Yow. We are here representing the fund that bears her name. And this is a little unique book called She that was given to Coach Yow. And this is actually her book. And it's a really special representation for women who are just being in the trenches of life. And I want to share a little bit with you today from this book. It was written by Kobe Yamada. And there are many ways to describe a woman, a mother, a sister, a daughter, a friend, a wife, a leader, a teacher, a student. The list goes on. But the thoughts that we want to share with you this morning are not about titles or roles. They are about spirit and heart. So from this book, I just want to share a few phrases. And as we share this morning, think about the cancer warriors that are in your life. that you know, and think about them specifically and how they have battled and continue to battle in their cancer journey. She loved life, and it loved her right back. Celebrate her passion. She listened to her heart above all other voices. Celebrate her wisdom. She woke up one day and threw away all her excuses. Celebrate her accountability. She turned her can'ts into cans and her dreams into plans. Celebrate her goals. She ignored people who said it couldn't be done. Celebrate her independence. She went out on a limb, had it break off behind her, and discovered she could fly. Celebrate her faith. She ran ahead where there were no paths. Celebrate her bravery. She held her head high and looked the world straight in the eye. Celebrate her strength. She made the world a better place. Celebrate her. She is someone whose music washes away the dust of everyday life. Someone who makes us laugh when we thought we would cry. She is someone who can pick up the pieces and give them back to us in all the right order. Today, we celebrate you, Cancer Warriors. We celebrate your courage, your strength, your faith, your resilience, your toughness. We stand with you. We lift you up. We will always walk beside you in your journey. You inspire us.
Good morning, Kay Yow Cancer Fund. This is Katrina Cooke, and I'm coming to you today from Deep Cancer Center. We're headed in today to get a little chemo treatment, and I just want to show you all my why. And as we're headed up on the Celebration Run Walk, this is the reason that I do everything I do, and the reason that we need to raise money for research, and we need to keep our treatment options open and coming.
I've been searching for so long, trying to find my own way home. You can't wait, yeah, you could wait for time, but I can't stay, 'cause I know time won't wait another day, no. You can't catch me now, I'm a fireball. You can't catch me now. I've been changing right before your very eyes, but you might as well be blind. Love moves on when you don't let it shine, and I moved on, took the best of me and left the rest behind. You can't catch me now, I'm a fireball. You can't catch me now. No, you can't catch me now, I'm a fireball. You can't catch me now. I gave you everything I had, but I don't want it back. Love moves on, watch it shoot across the sky, and I've moved on, took the best of me and left the rest behind.
The 2021 Kay Yow Cancer Fund Celebration Run Walk is made possible by the following corporate partners: